Be patient, but focused and disciplined in your business. It takes time to build a business, and it may take time to find your true niche. It did for me. Dr. Ellen Contente. Hey guys, thanks for joining me this week. I'm super excited and pumped to introduce you to our guest. This week I have a stress relief expert and an executive coach, Dr. Ellen Contente. Dr. Ellen, welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Monica. So nice to be with you and all of your listeners today.
Thank you. Likewise. So I totally resonate with a lot of the things that I've read about you or that you sent over and for us to discuss today. And so being a young entrepreneur myself, I am turning 51 in June, and I started my entrepreneurial journey at 48. So it woke up kind of late in life after climbing the corporate ladders and doing all those things. And, one of the things that you shared with me was, believe in yourself, which is something I talk about almost on every episode, any thought leader episode for sure. Right. And that not to allow imposter syndrome to stop you from showing up. And so you earn degrees, you earn certifications, you have the experience and expertise to be that, advocate and that leader in your field, whatever your niche is. And I think a lot of people, including myself, really struggle with that imposter syndrome because it can be daunting to get out there on your own and stressful. And you make a way in corporate America for yourself. You build relationships with investors, owners, whoever it is that you're, whatever field you're working in. Mine's real estate. And so then having them, when you get pulled away from corporate America and you launch your own business, much like I did, having people see you in that same light where you've worked so much for yourself, but now you're doing, or for others, and now you're doing it for yourself, that it can be kind of scary. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you go off on your own, it could be a little scary because you don't have that support system that you have in corporate America. When you are an entrepreneur, you are wearing so many different hats. And so you have to learn how to be an expert in things that you didn't do in your business life. Like you, I spent 25 plus years in corporate America. I was in IT and technology and software, and I was in sales, and that's what I did. But, I had somebody else who could handle the marketing. I had somebody else who could do the IT stuff. I had somebody else who did, all of the infrastructure that you have to do, when you run your own business. And the thing that I found that was really interesting is, you become an expert in whatever field you're in, especially when, you're driven and you want to be the best you can be in your field. But if you step away from that and then you move into something completely different, it takes a while for people to start to see you with that new expertise, because all they can think about is, oh, Ellen used to be this IT salesperson. Now she's a stress relief expert. How did she become a stress relief expert? And can we really trust her and believe her that she can support our teams now to manage their stress? And it seemed like no matter how many certifications and degrees I got and trainings that I did and all of the different companies that, are on my banner on my webpage that I've done business for, it seemed like I was always having to prove myself to myself that, yeah, I am that expert. I am that expert. Even if that's not how you originally knew me, that's who I am today. And you can trust me, and I need to trust and believe in myself. So
I love that. It resonates so well. I think, I'm on my 4th year of entrepreneurship. This August, my business will be 4 years old. 2 years of that was super brutal during the pandemic, right? So, launched my business the end of August 2018. 2019 was phenomenal, ready to take over the world. 2020 and 2021 were yuck. Really caused a lot of self-doubt, a lot of, I think being under that stress. And for me, this resonates so well with me because you're right. People did see me. They knew I was a fixer. They knew that I could get the assets that needed turned around, that I was able to, really make a difference. And then when I stepped out, the thing I noticed, or that I'm still learning and noticing, is you have this ecosystem of people around you when you're in corporate America to support and mentor and lead and guide you. And when you take that leap of faith out on your own and finally get the courage to do that, that group of people that were your mentors and that, were basically your family, your work family for all of those years that you spent in whatever space it was, they're not necessarily right there cheering you on. And it can be defeating and deflating and kind of like, I thought that you were my mentor, you helped me be here. Can you be proud of where I'm at now? And it creates this whole stress of, I was talking to another female entrepreneur a couple of weeks back, and I was trying to explain to her, she's younger. I encourage everyone to, take that leap of faith earlier. If I had done it in my 30s, I would, for lack of better words, been hell on wheels. I just woke up a little late. And so I was talking to her, and I think she felt like I was kind of talking down, and I was trying to explain to her that entrepreneurship is very rewarding, but it is extremely high stress. And it's, depending on the size of your business and your team, I've got a team of 10 people. So I don't only have to worry about Monica Morgan's paycheck and my healthcare. I've got other people dependent on my services and my business thriving to pay their bills and take care of their families. And so, it feels kind of lonely when you're out on your own. And so then I think works when you get into that space where you're in this unidentified waters or uncharted waters, you're in this space of really learning, to believe in yourself and to know that you can do big things and you can do hard things and you can do things that you've never done before or learn new things. And trying to impart that wisdom on, the younger entrepreneurs that I come across is like something that's super important to me. I loved that you said, stop comparing yourself to other women. And that's one of the things that I post or share a lot on my social media channels is, just because you have a light shining, by shining light on another female or person that's trying to do something great does not dim your light. You can be an advocate, you can be a supporter of women and others trying to do, wage these entrepreneurial waters and not dim their lights and share that roadway. And for me, in my experience, I, have taken other entrepreneur women that are trying to launch their consulting businesses, and I've aligned with them because, there's that you have to build your own ecosystem of people that support you when you're out on your own.
Yeah, you have to build your own ecosystem. And, that ecosystem doesn't have to be necessarily, in your business or your circle, immediate circle. I mean, it's joining those networking groups. There's so many groups, in Facebook, in LinkedIn. I created my own recently called Wine Women Wisdom, which was about not just women, but, supporting each other moving forward in any stage of our life, because entrepreneurship is a unique experience for every single person. And it's not just about not comparing yourself to somebody else who's in a similar business and you feel like, well, they're so much more successful than I am, or what if I had started sooner, as you said. I really truly believe that we are always at the right place at the right time doing the exact right thing. And if we trust that, if we really believe that, then we're going to be successful, and we're going to want to help other women, other people be successful. And it's an ecosystem, and we do need to support each other. It is about that interconnectedness of each other's business, services, talents, because we wouldn't be able to do what we do without everybody else supporting us either. And we wouldn't be able to do what we do if we didn't have clients. So we want to support our clients and our customers too to be successful.
100%. I love that. And I found some of my best or most rewarding in this journey thus far experiences has been in joining those networking groups, like Elevate or, the National Women's Organization. There's camaraderie, and there's, even though like I found myself in leading squads for Elevate in the past where, those women, I would be bulked in with a group of or a squad of women that were maybe really in the financial world or totally different pieces of the business or different industries than I had, but we had so much connectivity and connectedness in sharing, our growing pains, or able to lean into each other from a leadership stance and have somebody that can really understand, kind of what you're going through and what it feels like for you to have to go through those things, to also lend advice from their experiences. And so there's such a tremendous value in that, in grouping together like that. Tell us about your business. And I love that you have your group. Sorry, I definitely want to join that, but tell us about your business, because I know you don't just support women in business, but, executives and leaders that, are on the verge of burnout. And it's easy when I've been in real estate, property management for 30 plus years. It's sometimes you look at it and you're like, am I on the verge of burnout, or is this just a growing pain, or what's happening? So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. You know, and it's so interesting because I left corporate America because of the stress and because I was on the verge of burnout. And I realized there had to be a better way. There had to be a better way of living your life where it felt like you had the time, you had the energy for all the things that were important to you, your family, your friends, and yourself. And of course, starting your own business, as you know, Monica, is very stressful and it consumes a lot more time than just doing your, 9 to 5 or 8 to 10 jobs that we had. So when I first started my business about 10 years ago, my focus was to help people find that balance, that work-life balance. And the reality is there is no such thing as work-life balance, and there never will be. It really is about finding the true inner balance for yourself and really aligning your life to your core values. And, along the way, I started focusing more on helping people be more in alignment. And, one of the things that I recognized was so many corporate people, are not just out of balance, but they are on the verge of burnout. So helping them better recognize the signs and the symptoms to know, hey, wait a second, my body is sending me all these signs physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, but I'm not paying attention, right? Because I have too much to do and I don't have time to stop. And it's when we really apply the brakes and we recognize everything we do requires energy. So if you deplete your energy, you have nothing left in the tank for your business. You have nothing left in the tank for yourself. So, my niche kind of found me and really focusing on helping people realize the signs and symptoms of stress and burnout to bring themselves back into balance so that no matter what business they're in, no matter what stage of their life they're in, they have the energy and the joy for what it is that they want to do. Because I'm a firm believer, my tagline in my business is empowering people to live with more passion, purpose, and play. And if you're not enjoying your life, what is the point? So that's what I focus on, helping people create that inner balance, find more joy in their life, no matter what age and stage. And it's never too late to do what you want to do.
I love that so much because, that's something as I've gotten older and probably more in the last 2 years, I'd say, just going through everything we've went through, and the pandemic created a tremendous amount of stress for me as a new business owner. I had hives and was on steroid treatments for like 9 months because I was just so stressed out. And my body was telling me, I've never had hives before. My body was telling me, no, ma'am, slow down, figure it out. And I didn't, of course, as most people don't. And, coming out of all of that and realizing so many things differently now. And I don't know if you're an Adele fan or not, but she has a song called I Drink Wine. And it's like my jam lately because she talks about finding beauty in the sacrifice, that we can't, that we don't take the time, we have to work and to provide, and that there is beauty in the sacrifice, but you have to look for it. So I love that you kind of alluded to that, you're right. Work-life balance is not something that you can make happen. You have to choose it. You have to make space for it. And as I'm getting older, I'm thinking, okay, I have however many years left that I'm blessed to have, but how do I want to spend those? And what really drives that? And why is that so important? And so, I'm really trying to, not let things that don't matter or I can't change stress me out, because what good does that do? And just learning to find the beauty and the balance and that sacrifice of what really needs my time and it is do it, and what's important versus what isn't. And then trying to manage that stress, because being a business owner is stressful. And you think, yeah, I'm going to go work for myself. This is going to be great. I'm going to have every Friday off or half days. Doesn't happen. I find myself working on more holidays than any person I know. And I'm like, what am I doing?
That's the key right there, though, is finding that balance in that, is recognizing, yes, as an entrepreneur, we are in our business 24/7. But I have to tell you that I was on the verge of burnout myself, which is one of the reasons why I am so adamant about teaching entrepreneurs, especially, as well as, those in corporate America. You have got to take those breaks. You know what? It's okay if you take a Friday afternoon off. It's okay if you put your phone down and you don't open up your laptop on a Saturday or Sunday, because you have to have that time to recharge your battery. When I recognized I stopped enjoying the things that I love to do, I said, wait a second, right? Practice what you teach. You were on the verge of burnout because you're working 24/7. And like you, during this last pandemic, I was literally glued to my laptop 24/7, doing webinars, for clients across the globe. And I was like, I have to take a break, even if it's just a nano break, to go downstairs, step outside, get some fresh air, drink some water, whatever it is, remind myself of why I'm doing what I'm doing, what my passion is here. But yes, you can't wait until your business is successful to take those breaks, because you will be burnt out by that point, right? Unless you've got a great team and they're really doing all those other pieces for you, you've got to recognize what that balance is. And it's not about the amount of time you spend in the business or you spend on myself or everything else. It's about, how do I feel within, right? What is my joy level? What is my energy level within? That's going to give you the clue, the cue to, are you in balance, or do I need to, put the brakes on a little bit here?
For sure. Because I found myself, on the verge of, burnout. And I'm like, when you do quit finding joy in things you normally find joy in, that's a big red flag. You're like, okay, I've let it go too far. And so one of the things, my husband and I have been working on, well, really since the pandemic, probably 2 summers ago, we started eating healthier, and we've both lost 50 plus pounds, and we're continuing to do that, and started trying to exercise. And one of the things, since we've been traveling a lot over the last year, that we've been doing more recently is we go for 3.5 mile walks down the beach, because we're located on the shore, and you can walk forever on a beach and not be upset, right? You can just beautiful scenery, nice weather, you're good to go. And so it doesn't feel like you're walking that far. But one of the things that we do is we don't take our phones. We don't take any devices. So, our grandkids and our kids FaceTime us often because we're far from them. And we love having that communication. And we're so thankful that we do get to have that. But it's so nice at the end of the day, for me to put my phone down after being on the phone and on business calls all day. And the kids have learned, dad and mom, if we're not answering, we're on our walk and we're just enjoying that time. And sometimes we have a lot to talk about as we walk down the shore. Sometimes we don't. But, one of the things I've preached to my team forever is you can't pour from an empty cup. And essentially that's what you're saying. And I'm probably the one that needs to listen to what I teach as well. And so that's one way I've been able to, every day in the afternoons weekly, is to just disengage from my technical devices where no one can reach me, just my husband and I, and we go for a walk and we enjoy the beautiful, beauty that's out there, the funny things we come across, the sandcastles, all the things. So it's just such a nice way. If you can, if I could impart any wisdom on any listener, it's, give yourself the time to dial that in and give yourself time back to stop and, smell the roses, if you will. But one more thing I wanted to say before we wrap up today is that, I read in reading some of your information is that stress is the #1 killer of productivity, motivation, and health. And that U.S. businesses lose up to $300 billion a year as a result of workplace stress. And that was before the pandemic. So I want to leave, I hate that we're running short on time and that, we've got to wrap up this week, but maybe we can have another episode down the line and talk some more and dive more into this. But just think if that was how much, businesses were losing prior to the pandemic, that what it looks like now, because we all know, I think that customer service is at an all-time low and our world's just in a different place and people are really stressed out and have been through so much. But one of the things I do want to share with you guys before we wrap up with Dr. Ellen Contente today is that she has, you can text the word stressless, STRESSLESS, to her number 844-751-0844. And you will get what, Ellen, when they do that?
Actually, my stress tips list is available on, I moved it over to Telegram. So update.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you.
Yes, Stressless Life. You can find it there and you can get a stress tip every Monday.
That's amazing. So I want to leave you guys with that. I'm going to join and get stressless tips every Monday for myself. And I hope all of you listeners do as well. Dr. Ellen Contente, thank you so much for your time today. It's been such a great time speaking with you.
Thank you, Monica.
Hey guys, thanks for joining this week. It's been such a great joy talking to Dr. Ellen Contente. I'll catch you soon. Take care. Bye. Hey guys, if you like this episode, please hit like and subscribe.